Welcome, everyone. I guess it's time, so I'll get started. I know a few people are coming in. So as you can see, we'll be talking about LangChain and Azure AI and see how we can build LLM-powered applications by using Azure AI search. Who am I? I'm Rishab Kumar. I work at Twilio as a developer evangelist. I am also a GitHub star, a Google GDE for Google Cloud, and I love talking about cloud, DevOps, and AI now. Who doesn't? Raise of hands who can agree with this reference here. If AI has lied to you. Few hands. Oh, more than I thought. OK. The reason why it might happen is a few of the limitations that LLMs have. So for today's example, we are going to take Azure certifications. Who here has some sort of developer or cloud certifications? Awesome. That's more than 60% of people. So I like taking cloud certifications because I have been in the infrastructure space, have done platform engineering, and certifications is how I entered the field. I started my career in tech support. So for today's example, we'll take a tutor that we'll be building using some kind of LLM. And for that tutor, let's call it Azure Certification Tutor. Now, what would happen if I ask right now, let's say ChatGPT, let's go with OpenAI models, that, hey, I'm preparing for AI 102, which is Azure's AI certification. Would it have the right context of that certification? And just to give you reference, it was updated as of May of this year, the certification content. Raise of hands if you think ChatGPT will know what the certification is about and would be able to give me guidance according as a tutor would give. I see some nods saying no. OK. And that is where knowledge cutoff comes. So this is the first limitation, where LLMs are trained. For example, Gemini 1.5 Pro has a knowledge cutoff of May of 2024. Recently, GPT-5 was released, but again, it will not have the recent H-1B news that went out, right? As an immigrant, I am stressed. No knowledge about your data. So LLMs they don't know if you have, like, I don't know, a knowledge base of your own for your customer base. Maybe you have some documentation that you need to provide, which is not public facing. So LLMs are not trained on knowledge that only exists in your environment, or you have it locally. Third is LLMs can hallucinate. Yes, they can lie very confidently if they don't have the context. This is going away as we are making advancements, and the amount of money that is being spent with OpenAI and Google as well to increase the context window of LLMs. I think Gemini really pushed the limits with million tokens, I think. This used to be a limitation where you can only paste or have your prompt to a certain extent. You can't just take your entire databases and dump them in the text window. So that limitation is going away, but if you're looking for faster models like, I don't know, GPT-4o Mini or Flash from Gemini, you'll still see that you only have limited context window that you can work with. The reason why I included this is, yeah, I just can't go copy paste the certification guide from Microsoft and paste it into ChatGPT and say, hey, tutor me, because I'm sitting the exam. How we can solve those limitations is by expanding the LLM's capability. If you were at the keynote this morning, Danny was talking about some of the AI terminology there. You might have seen RAG. You might have seen fine-tuning. Retraining, I don't have the funds. Again, Twilio, if you will sponsor a few H100s for me, it would be awesome. Then I can retrain. But I don't have that right now. Fine-tuning, I like to use a baking analogy here. So I'm not a good baker. My wife is. So I usually, or even a pizza example, I don't usually, make the dough at home. I get a base get a sauce, and then I make the toppings myself and add some spices. So fine tuning is like that. You're not making everything from scratch. You already have certain aspects of an LLM, like from OpenAI, or even the open models. So if you want, you can take a Hugging Face model and fine tune it to your needs. And then the easiest one is RAG, also mentioned in Danny's keynote. So RAG is retrieval augmented generation. It's the easiest one. We'll dive in today. It basically combines the LLM with a retrieval system where it can get context based on, for example, for today, it will be the certifications from Microsoft, right? So we are providing that context to the LLM through a retrieval process so that it can give us more smart answers or more accurate answers without lying. And this is what the RAG process looks like. Again, as I said, it combines the power of large language models with external knowledge, enabling AI systems to make their answers more accurate. So you retrieve the relevant context that is needed for whatever the user has asked. You augment it, which is injecting that into the prompt itself, and then you generate the response, which is the output from the LLM. This is why I had the baking reference or the cooking reference, is I know this is kind of a workshop that I used to do, but since we have, as of now, 18 minutes, I won't be doing the live coding aspect of it, but these are the requirements. If you want to try it out, there will be a GitHub repo. You need Python, VS Code, or IDE of your choice, and an OpenAI account. How many of you have heard about LangChain? OK, almost all of you. How many of you have used LangChain? Few people. Cool. Not to hate on JavaScript, but I'm a Python developer, so I have used the Python version, but it is available in JavaScript or TypeScript as a package. It is focused on modularity and composition, but basically, it's a framework where you can bring all these different LLMs, and you can combine with your own computation and data. So it's an open source framework. It is very similar. You might say, why can't we use OpenAI's API? You can. But what if you have to port over to Gemini? You will have to use the Gemini SDK. So LangChain helps with that. You basically have to swap up the models, and the rest of the business logic remains the same. You can also use open source models. If you have Ollama running locally, or if you want to use Hugging Face models on your own hardware, you can use that as well. So that's where the power of LangChain comes in. I can boil it down to these 5 main concepts. Again, as a framework, it has grown a lot. There are models, pretty straightforward. These are the LLMs, powered by big corporations like Anthropic, OpenAI, Gemini, and then I also talked about the open ones from Hugging Face. Then you have prompt templates that allows us to set instructions to guide the LLM. This is where the prompt engineering phrase you might have heard comes into play. Chains allow us to combine other elements of LangChain together. That's why the name LangChain exists. And then we also have indexes. This allows us to extract the relevant information. In our case, the entire RAG pipeline will be working off of an index, which we'll have in Azure. And finally, we have agents. And this basically allows LLMs to take action as well. And you'll see a demo of the tutor that I've built, and by integrating it to a tool that I built with Twilio. So you'll be able to chat with this kind of an agent. Now let's take a look at how we can make the RAG work for us. So we'll have the certification guide as the first item, where we'll need to do some document processing to make it into chunks. We'll store those chunks as vector embeddings in a vector store. So this is what usually looks like. Then we use similarity search to help us query those embeddings and get the relevant context. I have some visual representation so that it's easier to understand. Again, this is only for visual representation, but the first step is chunking. So here I have copied a rental agreement for a car company. You can see if you do chunking, this is what chunking would look like. Again, you can increase the chunk sizes or decrease them based on your preference. And also, you should look into like performance optimization and stuff. We then generate embeddings. So let's say we use the OpenAI's embedding model. This is what the embeddings would look like. And this is what we'll store in a vector store. So this is where Azure AI comes in. We'll be using Azure AI Search as a vector store. So vector databases store high-dimensional embeddings. As we all know, or might not know, LLMs are trained on unlabeled or unstructured data, vast amount. Hence, vectors provide semantic meaning to all of that unstructured data. Cool. So Azure AI Search provides enterprise-grade vector storage with hybrid search capabilities, combining semantic similarity with traditional keyword search for optimal retrieval performance. Now, I will switch my tabs, and I can figure this out. OK. I'll do this as screen mirroring. So give me 1 second so that I can show you the code. Stop extending. Entire screen, start mirroring. OK. How's the text in the back? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Awesome. So we looked at the process. The first thing, as I said, is to get the certification guide and chunk it, right? So I'll try to bribe you at the end because I'm not live coding with something, maybe stickers, maybe swag, maybe a magic trick, I don't know. But basically, you can see that here's the list of URLs for the certification guide, right? This is from Microsoft. You have AZ104, AZ204, 305, 400. You don't need to know what these abbreviations are, but these are basically exam codes. Now, if I go to the top, you can see I'm doing some inputs, and all of them are from the LangChain library. So all of these are LangChain packages that I'm loading up. Now, coming to that chunking strategy, if I go down here, from line 46, you can see that I'm using the unstructured URL loader. Again, all of this is available from LangChain. We are picking all the URLs that are in a list, and we are loading them into a documents variable. And then I'm using the corrector text splitter, which is again from LangChain, to create it into chunks. Then I'm using, if I just briefly go up here, I don't want to confuse you a lot, but you can see that I have an embedding function here, which uses, if I go on top, you can see I have specified it to use the OpenAI's embedding model. So this is what the vectors will be created. This is the model that we'll use. And you can also see I have some configuration for the Azure search. So you need the search endpoint, you need the search key, and the index name. With this script, if you have locally configured Azure CLI, if the search point or the Azure AI search endpoint doesn't exist, it will create it for you. And then it will add all the vector embeddings to Azure AI. So if I run this script now, it should do that. And we'll see if the Wi-Fi helps today. Let's give it a second or so. I can also pull up. OK. So it is creating chunks. And you can see there is this chunk size configuration that is set to 2,000 and a chunk overlap of 200. So what does an overlap do, which I couldn't show you in the visual representation, is if the first chunk is created, the last 200 characters will be overlapped with the next chunk so that context is not lost when we are sending this to the AI. So we got some errors, which I think is just deprecation error, or is there one that is, oh, OK, no. So it was able to not only create the chunks, but also return if I do a similarity search. So if I go, I can show you that I have a quick function here or variable here called docs that does similarity search on Azure Administrator and asks it to return 3 documents where k is set to 3, stating that, and I just print that, and that's what you saw in the terminal there. I can also quickly show you, if I can find, the search index that was created. I'll zoom in. There we go. So if I do Azure Administrator, which is one of the certifications, you can see it'll return all the chunks with relevant text that says Azure Administrator, and this is how the embeddings look like. So our retrieval system is working. Now we can take this further and provide this retrieval system to our LLM. So I have a file called app.py, and here you can see it is basically connecting to that vector store. I'll close this. This is where the second concept of LangChain comes in, which is prompt template. You can see that I have created this prompt. So this function takes, oh no, where's the prompt? Let me go down. Oh, there we go. So here's the prompt. You are a helpful cloud instructor that provides cloud project ideas about Microsoft Azure certification based on the certification guide. And then a bunch of instructions on how to generate that project idea. I'm also passing in the retrieved docs here. You can see that. And if I come down, you'll be able to see we are using the chain component, which brings LLM and prompt together. And then we are invoking that chain. So how many of you have used Streamlit here? Streamlit users, 2 people. As I said in the beginning, I am not a JavaScript developer. I also don't know a lot of front end. I can't design UIs and stuff. So I use Streamlit because it lets me, you'll see, build this really cool interface using Python. So this is what the project looks like. And you can see I asked it for AZ104. Again, this is all running locally. The project level is beginner. And you can see it gave me a really good project idea that I can build to gain the skills that are needed for the certification. As I'm also a huge advocate of hands-on learning. So I learn by building projects rather than just looking up services and getting question or answers to the question. Hands-on is the way to go. So this gives me that kind of idea of what I need to build so that I can be proficient in Azure Storage, Azure App Service, and Azure Cognitive Services. Now, coming back to our slides, this is what the pipeline would look like. Again, this is one example, but you can take this to any use case that your business might have, where let's say that you want to build a chatbot where customers can talk to get help or support, but you have provided that chatbot with access to your internal knowledge base. But this is the general pipeline. You have your users coming in. They ask LLM or AI about, they have a query, whatever their question is. The same question is sent to similarity search. That is used to do a retrieval on the relevant information that is passed along with the query to the LLM, and you get an answer which, if you set it up correctly, won't be a lie. Now, the agentic part of it, or the tools part of it, is if you want this, if you have WhatsApp, you can scan this QR code. You can, I don't know how many of you are interested in Azure certifications, but you can talk to this bot that I connected to Twilio, or using Twilio to WhatsApp conversation. So you can try it out. I'll have the QR code for a while here. We still have 5 minutes, so go ahead, try it out. If you have feedback, share it with me, and I'll try to bribe you with a magic trick, I guess, because we have time. Cool, cool. Still see cameras. Okay, a few more cameras. Okay, there we go. Who wants to be a volunteer for a magic trick? I saw just one hand. Nick? Sure. Sure. Yeah. And then bring you together by using AI. Okay. I came prepared, so we'll see if this works. I have a deck of cards, and this is all powered by AI as well. And just to show you the power of like LangChain and AI.
The cards are AI powered?
The magic trick is AI powered. I would love the cards to be AI powered. We'll see.
Okay.
You can see that they are shuffled.
Yep.
If you want, you can shuffle them yourselves.
Okay.
I know people have trust issues, but as a fellow Canadian.
Yeah, I trust it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just let me know, or put a finger on one of the cards.
Okay.
Okay, cool. You can take a look at it. I don't know if you want to show it to the audience or not. Okay, you can place it either on the deck or on the table. This is a conference table, so it's not NFC, right? I don't know.
Okay.
Cool. So I won't ask you to do a call. I'll do it myself. But basically, you have to talk to an AI and ask what your card is. We'll try to put it on mic. Still have 3 minutes.
Do it on your phone or do it on mine?
I can call it for you, just so that.
Hi, I am Harry.
Hi, Harry. I have Nick over here with me, and he wants to talk to you.
What is my card?
A new guest.
Yes, a new guest.
Let
What is my card?
Wonderful.
Okay. I cut him off.
Great. Let me weave some. No worries. The magic is still here. Whenever you're ready, we can dive into the mystical world of cards. Just let me know.
Yeah, we are ready, Harry. What's Nick's card?
Let me reveal your next card. The next card in your magical journey is the Four of Diamonds.
Whoa.
Keep your eyes open for more wonders.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Harry. Thank you. That was stressful. For me too. I'm pretty sure if I ask Harry as well, he would be stressed out as well. It's live on stage. But yeah, so it kind of shows you the power of what you can build with AI and LangChain and like all these frameworks. And also check out Twilio's conversation relay. That's what we were using to build this magic trick. That's how you were able to talk to an AI in real time. All of it in the backend was all text. I'm using OpenAI, so go check it out. A quick statement on what LangChain is, but basically it allows you to connect all these multiple components involving AI with one simple framework, and it's open source. I'm a huge advocate of open source as well. But this is a cool QR code that you can scan if you want to get access to the GitHub repo. How many of you are familiar with Free Code Camp here? Awesome. I have a LangChain course on Free Code Camp, so go check it out. I also have some other cloud courses on there for free on YouTube. Go check them out. This QR code has all those resources. And yeah, with that, thank you for being here. Your time is very meaningful to me. 40 seconds. I have a coding glove, just one. I'm just going to throw it out, whoever catches it. No, it's built for developers. You'll find out there's a suspense to it, and I have a whole stack of GitHub stickers, so come find me. If you are into stickers, I have some other Twilio stickers as well. If you want to see the magic trick as well and try to figure out how I do it, come see me. I'm happy to do it again. Who is ready for a coding glove? Wow. I don't know how to throw it. I'm just going to turn and throw it. I don't want to hurt anyone, so please pay attention. I'm throwing an item. Pay attention. 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome. Cool. Thank you once again.